大家好，我是 Chris，欢迎来到 The Future. Hello, beautiful people. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, I believe. Are we live on Twitch, Aaron?
Yes, we are.
Excellent, excellent. Your mic may not be as loud.
Yes, we are. Yes, it is.
There we are. Now we're all on live. And what are we doing today? We're going to be critiquing your design and typography. We have a room full of people. Let's cut to the people. Oh, Molly, can we cut to the people?
Oh, yes.
Cut to the people.
Cut to the people on my computer.
Cutting to the people.
The people are waving
There he
hi.
is.
Hi, people.
Go to grid view, Molly.
Okay.
So that we can see everybody. There they are. I think are we missing somebody? What happened to the first guy? We lost him. You'll have to get in touch with him. Anyways,
yeah, I'll do it.
I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. And it's super hot here. It's super hot. So I hope you're staying cool. Let's say hi to the entire team. Hey, Molly. How's it going?
What's up? What's up, everybody? It's Labor Day weekend. We are giving you some type realness today.
Type realness. I like that. And Aaron. Buenos días.
Buenos días, amigo Chris.
Señor.
¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, muy bien.
Muy bien.
Muy bien.
Qué bueno.
Okay, here we go.
Wait, Chris, your
Yes.
computer's hooked up to this too, right?
Hooked up to what?
Can we cut to Chris's computer?
No,
don't
he
go.
can't. He can't.
No, we're not. I guess
No,
we're
you
not doing
cannot.
that.
Well, how are we going to review this?
Yeah.
Just plug it in.
Just plug it in?
There's a plug.
All right, I tell you what. Let's roll the main title.
Okay.
You guys, this is obviously real, raw. This is unedited, unscripted. Roll the title. All right, we are back. We are back. A little scramble here at the last minute, figuring things out. Molly, we're talking to a whole bunch of people today, right? You hand-selected 6 or so people for us to review today.
Yes.
All right. This is a deep dive into typography, so we're going to spend some time, you guys. So get your beverage, relax, kick off your shoes, what you got to do to get comfortable, because we're going to spend some time and critique this work. And I'm going to share my screen here. Share screen.
So.
There we are, Photoshop. Share screen. Aaron, can you see it?
Yeah.
Great. Excellent.
So Chris, he was in the chat and now he's not. I'm gonna contact this guy.
So we can't see Eddie's work right now, right?
Yeah,
we
let's
lost
do
him.
Anton.
And we lost a woman. We lost a woman from Indonesia as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna contact all of them
Okay,
right now.
get him back in.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll move on to Anton. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Why can't I zoom in? There we go. Anton, unmute yourself, buddy. Is Anton in the room?
Yep, it's right here.
All right. What are you doing here? Why don't you first introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from. You know how it goes.
My name is Anton, and I'm from Springfield, Missouri. I'm a graphic designer and an illustrator. I currently teach a graphic design course at the community college.
Okay.
So this was a class demo of a poster of a kind of combining classical and also kind of modern feel of the poster of the class.
Okay. So you're a teacher as well?
I'm an instructor.
Okay. You say instructor. Is the teacher different than an instructor?
Well, I guess not.
Are you more qualified than a teacher? It sounds more professional. He's an instructor, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're teaching at a community college. How
Yes.
old are your average age of your students?
It depends, between 19 out of high school
19
to 24, maybe 25.
And where did you study design?
At Missouri State University.
Okay. And are you originally from Missouri?
No, I'm originally from Ukraine.
Oh, Ukraine. I noticed a little accent. I didn't want to just assume. Okay, so how long have you been living in the United States?
Since 2004.
Okay, your English is great, by the way. 2004.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so let's take a look at your work. Oh, you got everybody back in, huh, Molly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's share the screen. We're going to go look at Anton's work here. All right. I want to move this out. Okay, let me move it over there. All right, let's look at this. This is a nice poster. Let me hide everything. Move it over here so you guys can see. So I'm going to take a moment to just digest and process this a little bit. Molly, are you taking a look at this with me?
Oh, yes.
You can help me out with the crit?
Yes, I will.
All right. So this is
Yes, I will.
Anton Fleshka, Spring 2017, Basic Typography. So you're doing a little 3D work here, Anton?
No, that's actually a photograph of a neon sign.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I photographed was a low exposure. So the light would, streak. So then in post, I reversed it and made it black and white.
Black and white. Okay.
Yes.
Then you stripped it out and then you composited it on top of this?
Yes.
Okay. Why did you want to use this technique for this particular poster? Talk to me a little bit about your creative process or your thinking.
Well, basically, it's either you get an A or you get an F.
That's funny.
That's
Okay.
the idea
Alright.
behind it. But it's kind of like getting a very traditional layout, but adding that, not futuristic, modern feel to it. Because the typography is very traditional, but also doing the effect of the F puts it on a different kind of level now, even though it has the traditional feel to it.
Okay. What did you mention what typeface this was?
I think this typeface is Optima, if I'm...
Optima. You sure?
but
This
I'm not
doesn't
sure.
look like Optima to me.
It probably is not.
All right, Molly, look up Optima typeface for me,
Yeah.
please, and
I
then
don't
we'll
think
cut to
that
that
is
screen.
it. But yeah.
I was gonna say like Palatino italic or something, but I'm not
It's-
sure.
I think it is Palatino.
Oh, it's Palatino, maybe? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right, maybe we lucked out on that. I'm going to switch colors here and do that so that we can write on top of it. All right, so I'm looking at this. So I'm going to kind of walk you through my process, and I'm going to slow it down. Normally, I would just jump straight into the critique, but I know there are a lot of people watching. Can I move this down? Yeah, that might be better down there. A lot of people are watching, so I want to just slow down the process. First thing is I'm just trying to process what I'm seeing, what meaning there might be in the A and the F. I think it's slang these days. When you do AF, it's slang for as, like cool as F. You know what I'm saying? There's a 4-letter word.
Yeah.
You understand slang? Okay, so basic typography, and I'm looking at that now. Once I understand the AF and there's a relationship between that, and now that you've explained it, makes a lot more sense. Classic typeface, italic, and I do see the modern edge that you're trying to bring into this with a really large capital letter. And this, what I assumed incorrectly was the 3-dimensional element. And I think that's cool that you went out to shoot it and you experimented with photography and you're able to composite it back in. We know lots of designers who don't know how to do 3D, but they get really creative about how they create elements and bring things in. And those of you guys that don't know anything about 3D, Photoshop allows you to import 3D models that you can buy off TurboSquid or download somewhere, and you can play around with it, light it, and it gives your design another layer to work with. The first thing I'm gonna pick apart here is this thing right here. I'm not quite sure what that is. So if you guys can see it, I'm gonna draw a line around. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. You see that right there, Anton?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Is that from the rest of the neon sign?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you, obviously it's in here and you left it in here. Why did you leave that little bit in? Just curious.
I felt like there's something that continues
Uh-huh.
of the page. It might be distracting.
So you know what I'm gonna do right now? I'm gonna just hide it for a second by doing that. And let me say the reason why I'm doing that is because if you have a little element in there like that, I would like to see a little bit more of it so I can figure out what it is, or I'd like to get rid of it. It's this thing where you're kind of in no man's land when you're not in and you're not out. That's where it becomes problematic for me. Now, I'm trying to figure out what can we do to make this thing better. Molly, do you have any ideas or suggestions right now?
Well, for me, it was the thing that I wanted to change a little was the basic typography instructor, Anton.
Okay,
That,
what about it?
For me, I liked what he was doing with the A and the F.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just feel like that's experimental and it was looking cool. But
Yeah, that was cool.
it's just, I think it's the typeface of basic typography and the relation between the two. I don't know. It's just not working for me.
Can you articulate Excuse me, can you articulate that a little bit better? Why isn't it working for you? That's good. First, we need to acknowledge that maybe something isn't working for us, and then we have to kind of pick apart why. So let's try to figure this out together.
Okay.
I noticed there's a lot of each typeface of each thing is different, right? Each one's different. The spring is different than the basic, than the instructor. They're all different.
There's a lot of different types.
There's a lot of different things going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing I noticed.
That's good. That's good. That's a good start. So now we're going to pick this thing apart. There is, I mean, I feel like it's 80% there, and there's something that's thrown both Molly and I off, as well as Aaron, and we're looking at it. We can't quite put our finger on it. Is it because there are too many different typefaces going on? So first we have this type. Oops, I'm sorry. We have this typeface right here.
Maybe I think it's too big, the basic typography. I know is it book
Well,
cover?
hold on. Let's just stay on one
Okay.
thing at a time.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. It's okay. So we have Palatino or something like that, italic. Then we have a sans serif typeface here. And this is upper and lowercase. This is all uppercase. Then we have all uppercase. Assuming that's the same typeface, it looks like it. One large letter. And then we have a totally different kind of typeface with this neon F. So there's a lot going on here. So perhaps part of our brain is maybe we don't need so many different things. Do you think he needed the sans serif typeface?
Underneath. No, I think I would keep it. I don't know. I don't think he needs a sans serif. Or it is a good balance between the two, but it's not. I don't know. I can't articulate it right now. I'm not sure why. Oh, wait. Your audio is low.
A little miscommunication between me and Chris there. The sign language is not there yet.
Yeah. The sign language. All right. We won't
Okay,
get into that. Okay. So I think it just needs to be simplified. And that. So here's the thing. When you start off, I'm going to do this thing for you guys. Okay? I'm going to do this. I'm going to pick the orange color again and go and hide this whole thing. And I'm going to delete all these marks off of this. Okay. When you're working with a layout and things aren't falling into place, the first thing I like to do is turn off all my layers. Now, Anton gave us the file, and it's a flattened JPEG, so it's kind of difficult for me to do this, so bear with me, you guys. And we look at this, and if we strip it back down to nothing, does that layout work? So I'm going to keep stripping it down. I'm going to add more things that I can hide and delete here. 1 second here. I'm going to marquee this and fill it with orange. I don't know why there's extra black on top. Oh, I see.
It's a screenshot.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. I don't want that to distract us. Okay, let's look at that now. How do you guys feel about this? It's a pure orange poster, basic typography, instructor Anton Fleshka. How do you guys feel?
Cool. Looks good.
It's better.
It's better.
Yeah, there's not
Okay,
as
so
much going on.
you know what we're gonna do? We want it not just to be better, we want it to be great. So I'm gonna hide this too. Okay, now look at this. Is this okay? Is the scale of this typeface relative to the image size, is this okay?
It feels a little like there's a lot of orange.
There's a lot of orange.
No, I mean, I like the negative space, I think.
You like the negative space?
Yeah.
So far so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to add one element back in at a time, and then we shall see. So now we add these 2 bits of type. Now, are these helping us at all? What do you think?
No.
No, so something is going on
It's
here.
I think it's the balance between the spring and the December. The way that it's placed.
Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a little digital surgery. My feeling is perhaps this needs to be over here. Shoot.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Oh, its background layer is locked. Okay, let me unlock it. Maybe that was probably why. B, option, drag over here. There we go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna snap a guide. I'm not used to working on such a small screen here, guys. Forgive me. And I'm gonna bring this over here. So I wanna make sure this piece of type is lined up to that. Okay? So right now I'm gonna get rid of this one. I suspect, and I'm gonna hide the guides. Okay, and hide all this stuff. What do you guys think about that now? Is that better or is that worse?
It feels like the spring is really out of place when.
Okay.
For me, when you did
Okay.
that.
What do we need to do then, Molly?
Align it with the same grid, maybe.
In the bottom right corner, all the way down there.
Okay. So again, we're gonna massage this layout, and let's see how this works. Okay. So I'm gonna take this guy now, and I'm gonna move it down. I think maybe the relationship between that and this type was too far.
Mm-hmm.
So let me fill this back in. Like that.
Okay.
Is that a little bit better?
So yeah, that's grouping it together.
That's grouping it together. So Design 303, this is an advanced typography course, I assume, because 101 would be the first one. Basic typography. So far, so good. I think perhaps we need to do something with this type. And what we'll do right now is I'll experiment with
turning it off.
With a different typeface. If we said that that's the only sans serif typeface, maybe we don't need it. So I'm going to put in here. We shall see if this is the right typeface or not. What did it say? Design course? What did it say before?
Instructor, Anton.
Instructor.
Okay, instructor, Anton, Fleshka. Like that. So
Yeah.
let me try and see what typefaces I have here. Palatino. There it is. Hopefully it's the same typeface. And it's italic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me make it a little bit bigger. Does that kind of look like the same typeface?
Yeah, it
more
does.
or less.
It
Okay.
does.
All right. And I need to hide this other guy here, the spring 2017,
Mm-hmm.
and I will do that right now. I'm gonna just move it. I already know where I need to move that. I'm gonna move that down here. Why won't I move?
It's
I'm
on the wrong layer.
Oh, I see. I got all this stuff to hide. This is a nightmare now.
I know.
Okay, let me copy that or cut that. Let me copy that. I'll paste it on top of here. It's like doing surgery with like really crude instruments.
Yeah, you need to sharpen.
Bring it down here. And
Yeah.
now I can delete this guy off this thing. So let's keep
You
looking
can
at it.
Hide that.
And hopefully our audience is not falling asleep. And
No,
Molly,
no,
I cannot
I'm reading-
monitor their comments at all.
I
The
am
other thing I'm
reading
going to
their
do right now,
comments.
just save my own sanity, is I'm going to crop this guy like the way it should be. Because it was killing me before. Come on, crop in. It's going to snap to that thing. Please. That's good enough. Okay. There we go. So basic typography. Your instructor.
Yeah,
Anton Fleshka. How does this feel so far?
that feels better for me.
All right.
I'd like to point out that this is what Chris always tells me. I'm an amateur type guy, very amateur. He always says, just justify left all the time. Justify
It's
left.
one of our type rules. Justify left when
Justify
things
left.
aren't working.
It's on the.
And I'll tell you why in a second, and I'll give you more reason. Now, I'm looking at this. Guys, this feels a little funny to me right now. This feels probably a little bit too far away from the edge, or it needs to be closer to this.
I feel like it needs to be farther down.
Okay, me too. So I think it needs to be right around here somewhere. Now, when you design enough and you work with grids enough, you start to get a sense of balance and form and rhythm. I'm doing this without a grid, but for a lot of you guys, you might start using some grids until your eye and you get used to the spacing, and that's important. So instructor Anton Fleshka. Now, if you wanted to call that out, he could change the color of that right now. That would be an easy thing for us to do, and we're not introducing too many new elements. So let's go back and look at his big type here. And this is important because I like this, so I'm going to hit Control. I'm going to solo this, I think. Gosh, I think I need a regular. There we go. This is the original poster here. So I'm going to grab this element and do something with it. So I'm going to grab it right now, like this. It's a cool element. Copy. I like that it's big and bold. Unsolo everything. And I'm going to paste it onto a new layer now so that we can work with it. So we're deconstructing his file. Now, let me go and erase this part.
People are saying not bored at all. Awesome.
Not bored at all. Cool.
Thank you, Stefano.
All right. Let me move this down here a little bit. Okay. So now I pasted it back in. Let's take a look at it again, because every time we make a change, we have to look at it. And how does it feel now?
It looks really good. Could we see a side-by-side comparison? Or
We
is
could.
that not possible?
That would require me to do something, yes. So let me save this file as something else, Anton-B.
Better version?
Just B. Just B.
Just kidding,
Okay.
just kidding.
Let me hit that OK. Now go back to open, Anton, this one, and select all, copy, close this, and okay, I can paste it right in front. Let me move it all the way to the top layer here. I think it's right around here. Oops. Let's see. Oh, whatever. So this is the way it was, and we moved a few things around. We simplified a few things. And how do you feel about this now? Anton, what do you think about what we're doing? Give me some direction, man.
I think it's more simplified, and since you changed my name from being white to, there's no distraction. I think even though I had my name was black or some kind of color of the letter F, it just stood out. If you zoom out, you can see it stands out.
So you're saying zoom out like that?
Yeah. Now it's very balanced to me.
Okay.
For me,
go ahead, Molly.
I feel like it still is, the AF is very heavy, and I feel like they're kind of fighting each other still. Like I almost want basic typography to be a bit smaller.
Okay, we should always look at that as an option. Okay, before we do that, Molly, I just want to make some comments on this, and those are good points and things for us to be thinking about. So there's this really beautiful almost illustration between the A and the F, and I want that to be the hero. And that's why I decided to simplify everything else. Before we had a different typeface, we had things happening over on the right-hand side here. Let me throw up a grid line here, D and X here. And if I draw, undo, let me try that again. If I draw this, all right, you guys, so there's some alignment here, and we'll massage that a little bit. But if we keep everything anchored to one axis, one grid, that allows this guy to be the hero. And we're not competing for anything anymore. So we're going to see this first. That's going to be our primary read. That's number one. And our secondary read is going to be this, which is obviously something that's important. And then our third read, our tertiary read, is this. And that's the way it should be. And we need to be considerate of where our eye goes. Before, when we had, let me delete all this stuff. Before, when we had type over here, and this was darker and gray, it was like all fighting for our attention all at the same time. So we just need to control the information. And there's probably other things that we can do, but I think overall, there's very small tweaks here, but I feel like the design is just a little bit easier to process. And now Molly is saying, what if we were to reduce the scale of this type? Now this is going to be a little tricky here, because everything is Frankenstein together now. You know what I should do?
You know, you should copy and
yeah,
paste
I'm
all
going to copy and
layers
paste
and
this. I'm going to bring all this. Duplicate.
Command-Shift-Option-E.
Merge. All right. Now, I got this sucker here. Okay. Now Molly says take this whole thing. You want me to take the whole thing down?
With instructor. Yeah.
With the description or design
No,
303?
that one's fine.
That one's fine. So I'll deselect that, and I'll scale this down. So maybe there?
Yeah.
All right. Everybody's an art director. Brush. Grab this color and then fill it with that. What do you guys think?
It looks the same to me.
You need me to copy this and paste into the other document?
No, just like, I mean, I've spoken.
You have spoken? Aaron has spoken, guys. So let's go back to this file here and bring the layers back up and paste it in here. So now we can compare the two. Let me bring it over here. You guys can see the difference between the two. Anton, do you have a preference between the bigger and the smaller type? What do you think?
It could work. It could work either way.
Either way. And I think it's nice, and we should explore that. So when you do 100 of these layouts, you make these little decisions, right? If something is going to work better or not, and you try it. And the key to all of this is to try lots of things and step back and look at it with an objective point of view. I don't think one is better than the other per se. It's just a matter of preference. If you want to create greater emphasis between between these two elements, then you would make one smaller, one bigger. And contrast is always the most important thing to play with in terms of design fundamentals, design principles. Get the contrast to be greater if you can. And that's why this very lyrical F, this very fluid letter form that you've included, is working so nice for me because it is in juxtaposition to the serif A, the sharp lines, and this is very fluid, and it's a photograph versus a vector piece of art, and I think that's really nice. Well done overall, and I hope your students are able to watch this and follow along with the journey as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in, and we shall now go to our next person, or do we want to take a quick question from anybody that's watching? How was this? I know it's hard to kind of do this in Photoshop, but I'm doing my best here, guys.
Yeah, I'm reading.
Okay, Molly, while Molly's reading, I will get to the next file. Is Eddie back in?
Yes, he is.
Okay, so we're going to go back to Eddie's file here. So let me save this and close this. Close that. Don't save. This is Eddie's work now. And let me.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to stop the share and we're going to talk to Eddie. Eddie, where are you, man? Pin the video.
I'm
okay.
from Indonesia.
Okay, hold on. You're going to cut to the screen, Aaron?
Oh, sorry. I was showing Molly a funny comment.
Yeah, people are saying my hair is messy. I don't
Hey,
shower.
focus on this.
Sorry.
It's a
She's
lot
so
of,
vain.
It's a
She's
lot of
just reading
work.
all her
She's
comments.
so vain. It's a lot of work to get that hair looking exactly the way it looks. Okay. Eddie, tell us who we are and where you're from.
I'm from Indonesia. I'm a graphic designer. I've been doing this for almost 10 years now.
Oh, okay. Graphic designer, Indonesia.
I started as a self-taught, and then
You started as a
I
what?
went to self-taught.
Self-taught. You started as self-taught. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've been working your way up, and you've learned graphic design. Did you have a mentor or something?
Yeah. I went to 1 year short course of visual communication. Yeah, and that's it.
Okay. And what do you do now? Are you working for a company? Are you self-employed?
I have my own studio.
You have your own studio?
Or agency.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Let me go and jump into sharing the screen here.
Chris,
Yes.
someone asked, what's the most important rule of composition for you?
Contrast. The most important thing is contrast, guys. And we're going to talk about that on our Design Fundamentals series that we're starting on Tuesday of next week, 11 a.m. So be there for that, guys. This is Eddie's work, right, Molly? Did I get this right? Okay. So I'm going to just take a moment to look at this. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to hide all this stuff so you guys can see it as well. I know these little talking things are annoying, but we'll just deal with that. You know what? I can move it up a little bit more. There. H & Company. So what is this project I'm looking at? Is this a brochure?
Yeah, it's a booklet for the products. Yeah.
What kind of products are these? Are these good edibles or perishables?
Yeah, edible.
Lifestyle gourmet goods. Okay, great. Am I looking at the front cover and the back cover?
Yes, there's the front and back.
Okay, perfect. So normally we would just look at it like that. Did you design all the packaging as well?
Some of them.
Some of them. Okay.
The white one.
The white ones?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this a good client?
Yeah.
He's on air. He's like, yeah, they're great. You can chat us, direct message us later if you don't like them. Okay. This is the spread here. So he's getting into confectionery. That's what that says. All the ingredients. It's always nice to see ingredients. Did you art direct the photo shoot as well?
No.
No.
I didn't know.
They gave that all to you?
Yeah.
Like these these components with the caramel nougat or whatever that's called swirling about. They did all that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And are these jelly beans? Chocolate bonbon. Coffee, coconut. Okay. Molly, what's your impression of Eddie's work here?
I mean, I picked it because I feel like he has some good stuff. I like it, and I just feel like there needs to be everything. For me, I wanted to see, like, there's a lot going on, so I want to see it a little simplified. That's what I was thinking when I was looking at this, because some pages does it, and it looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
The other pages, there's a lot going on, and it's hard to, like, my eye is kind of going all over the place.
Okay.
So that's what I was thinking.
And just for everybody who's watching, tell us what typeface you're using. Is this some form of Bodoni?
Dido.
Dido. Okay, perfect. That would be my second guess. Or is it Dido or Dido or something? Mm-hmm. And then what's the other typeface?
And then,
you guys know when you get on air with me, when I ask you about your typefaces, then you should know. So whoever else is going to be... Baskerville. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah. 2 beautiful typefaces, and they're both serif typefaces, and they work well together. Dido and Baskerville. Okay. And then you're also using a sans serif in here, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What typeface is that?
Universe.
Oh, beautiful choices there. It's like a nerd thing, type nerd thing, and Universe. Beautiful. Okay, great. All right, let's dive in, Molly. You ready?
Yeah.
Did you design the H & Company logo, or is that their logo?
Yes, I did.
You did it.
Okay.
I like it.
All right. It has a kind of an old-fashioned, old-timey thing. It feels appropriate and relevant to something for food products. That's so far so good. Oh, and then he's got this typeface in here too. This is probably one typeface I don't love. And what typeface is this? Oops. What typeface is that? Lifestyle.
I forgot.
Okay. Is that hand lettered or is that a typeface?
It's a typeface.
Okay. I like seeing those kinds of hand brush lettering things. I typically just prefer if you were able to do it hand done.
Yeah, me too.
And really just work on it and get all the flourishes in there, that kind of thing.
So it really blends well with the other typeface that you're contrasting with.
Yeah, and it's kind of inching towards that right now because I can see the L here. You dropped it below the baseline, right? It's fitting in this area here nicely. And I just feel like there just needs to be a couple of more bits of customization to make this work for me. I like the color palette a lot. The gold against the, what do we call that? A salmon color?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the navy or royal blue. Those are very nice colors together, especially if the gold color were metallic.
Yeah,
I think that would pop.
Awesome.
That would look really good. I have some small little notes here for you in terms of separation. I need to make this pen brush a little bit bigger. Okay. Like this blue against blue, a little hard to read. Now there's a little edge highlight on this, which helps. But perhaps staging this, you could have put maybe a white product behind here. Or something to help separate it. I like separation so that they don't bleed together. And I think the mixture between white and blue products here with a little mustard or whatever that is, looks really good. So this is my main concern, is right here. This right here. If you were to work that out, I think that could work better. The other thing that I'm kind of having a little bit of an issue with is the scale of this relative to this. Now typically, when we're talking about contrast, one of these two should be bigger and the other one should be smaller. So if we took gourmet out to here, maybe, and then we made this even smaller, like H Company, maybe that would work better. Yeah. I'm going to just totally butcher this in a second. But I think if we could just fill this in. Let me do that. Now, this obviously would also then have to go to the top here. We'd have to bring this up. This file is too complicated for me to even try to deconstruct.
Yeah, I was just, I know that this one was a lot. There was a lot to it, so I was just thinking that. Yeah.
I also like that you have this little strip of gold right at the bottom here. This is inset, so it doesn't go full bleed, and that allows your package to pop past the edge right here. I think that's cool. This is nice too. Let me use a different color. Like right there. But that's nice that pops out.
Wait, Chris, sorry,
three-dimensional sense. Go ahead.
Could you again just re-summarize what you were gonna do with the type? Like, you don't have to do it, but just because when you had those arrows pointing out there, gourmet goods, like what do you like? Just make that bigger, or
no? You know what? I'm gonna do it, Aaron. You challenged me to do it. Now I'm gonna do it.
All right.
How dare you? What I wanted to do was when you make an adjustment, when you make something smaller or bigger, then you have to actually adjust the entire layout. You just change one thing. So what I wanted to do was to move all of this up. I can't even move it up now. Why? Oh, because that box is behind it. That's what I want to do. I want to give this a little bit more space and reduce the H&CO logo size. That's what I was trying to do, Aaron. Because there's too much space in between them. You see that?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's like the three things are all the same size, kind of. You want to do...
You know what? You're basically saying, F you, Chris. You better fix this right now. So, all right.
I'm saying this stuff? Me?
Yeah. So, I'm going to select... No, let me use a spot healing brush. Is this a spot healing brush? Here. Let's just paint this.
If you want, I'll come in and help you out. Show you how it's done.
I would appreciate that. Aaron.
I would love to see that.
I'm just rushing because there's a whole live audience watching me, and it feels
the pressure.
Anxious. Yeah. The pressure.
Here, let me help with that. Just get a
brush
shot of you.
Grab this. So
he's sweating.
What
Look
is
at
it?
that.
What did we erase, Molly? What did it used to say? Gourmet goods.
Yeah, gourmet lifestyle gourmet goods.
Lifestyle gourmet goods. Okay, let's do that. I think he was using Univers. How do you say that? Is it Univers? How do you say that?
Univers.
Univers. Bonjour, Univers.
Bonjour.
Let's see which one he used. He probably used like light condense. Let's see how that looks. Scale that up. Oop, I messed up on that. That doesn't look like the same. I think his was more condensed. What weight of Univers were you using?
I did not open the file. Can I?
Molly,
check,
tell me.
please?
Do you have the file?
No, I don't. But I think it was the most condensed one.
Okay, I think so too.
Yeah.
It might be thin or ultra condensed.
Ultra condensed. That's what it looks like.
That feels a little bit more like what he had before. Although this is a little heavy now. We'll scale this up. Now maybe you guys are starting to see something, or I hope. Gosh, I don't like the... I don't want to accidentally stretch that. I don't like the way they changed some of the keyboard things in Photoshop. It's bugging me after using it for so many years. Maybe that's too big.
It's like ultra condensed.
Ultra condensed. Okay, let's check to see what we use. Ultra condensed is what we use. Boom.
Thin ultra condensed?
No, light ultra condensed.
Oh, thin.
49.
Light ultra condensed.
49.
There we go.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that feels more like it. And I think his instincts to use light ultra condensed were right, in that the other one felt a little heavy for a food product. Guys, I'm working fast here, so if I accidentally stretch this, you guys will forgive me, please. Okay? And I'm going to take this logo now. And I'm going to copy that. Now I can paint this thing out. Using the spot healing brush, guys, in case anybody wondered. Now, when I got rid of all those logos, does this look better to you? You guys?
Yes.
It does, right?
Yeah.
Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things everyone was saying, right? It was really busy, so...
It was busy.
Yeah.
But you still need to put the logo in there, right?
Yeah, but the logo's on all the packaging, too, so I feel like you can make it...
Well, we're going to put it in.
Okay.
So what we do is when we're not quite sure like how to make it better. Now, some of Eddie's layouts are really beautiful. There's a lot of breathing space, and you get that sense of gourmet. I think when you pack too much stuff in, it starts to feel catalog and less gourmet.
Yep.
Very true.
Give it breathing space. White space is your best friend. If you look at all the Apple photography, very minimal, and that's what screams to me luxury.
So if I could point out what your technique style of making things better is, you take away things first, and then just add them back in slowly.
Yeah, when you don't know if it's going to work out. Now, see, as soon as I paste this guy back in,
That's looking pretty good.
it gets a little bit busier, right?
Yep.
It gets a little bit busier. So what I want to do, what I said before, was to try to make it smaller. And now it feels okay again. But now there's this relationship issue between the logo and the lifestyle good things. There's another thing that's bugging me a little bit, and I don't really want to change your logo, but I'm going to do it anyway since I'm here. It needs to be a little bit closer to that. It was feeling a little bit far away. Okay? Now, you could bring these two bits closer together. You could do that. Or you could fill it in with stuff like this, where you have that little gold bar. Just gonna grab that. I'm not gonna go into every layout that we look at today in this kind of detail. We used to say this in class. Will it copy or not? It will not copy. That the first person that shows up in class gets the best crit, and the last person shows up gets the second best crit. That's not what we used to say, but okay. Move it up here. So you can use little spacer elements like this to fill in the space. Maybe that looks a little funny. You don't always have to bring things closer. But I'm also getting the sense that I need to bring some of this gold up on the top. I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to steal this element at the bottom.
Hey Molly, maybe just read off some comments. What are people
copy
thinking?
this.
Someone said Chris is a god.
No.
Read the ones that are relevant to typography,
Just godlike.
like opinions.
Okay,
Let
I'm
me
going to move this
see.
up. Watch this, guys. If I move this up here,
Someone's saying logo on the top right.
okay?
Lines can be so helpful.
So right now what I'm trying to do is anchor those two things, and it feels a little repetitive to me. I'm going to try something here, guys. It may not work. I'm going to try and stretch this down so it overlaps this. Well, that's a mess.
Yeah.
That didn't work. But what I can do is this. I can select that layer, lock it, and then I can fill it with this gold color. So I'm creating some dimensional aspects here, hopefully. I'm trying to tie this together. Let me explain to you guys what I'm doing here. And I'm sorry if I'm moving in a frenetic pace here. You guys let me know if I'm moving too fast or too slow. I'm going to show you what's happening. I always like to try to tie things together to make things relate. So if I, excuse me, if I do this, then that's going to be echoed down here. I want to tie things together. So they anchor the image. If you can imagine a clipboard or something with metal clasp holding on your piece of paper, that might be the way to go. And it helps to fill in some of the negative space that I don't know what to do with at this point. So if I look at the logo again, right there, normally I would be labeling all this stuff, you guys, but we're live on TV, and so we just play around with this and see where it fits. So there we go. Is that okay? Let me hide everything. Zoom out. What do you guys think? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Molly?
Yeah.
Good golly, Miss Molly?
Yes.
All right.
Good
Now,
feedback there, Molly.
Somebody said to put the logo in the
Thanks,
upper
Eric.
right corner. Somebody said to do that, right? Who
Someone
said that?
said, I lost it. Someone says it looks so balanced now. Maybe.
I'm going to give you guys a couple more tricks before we move on here. A couple more tricks. You ready? Okay. Now, you don't want to put the logo to the right. And I'll tell you why. This is a very centered layout. There's harmony and balance in this centered layout. And once you kind of set it up as centered, you kind of are moving in the direction. When I move this over here, I think it starts to throw things off.
Yeah.
It does, right? And you can move things over here. I just want to show the good people what happens. And I'm making decisions here. Now, here's my trick. Here's the trick. This is the front cover. This is the back cover. How are these two things related? Right now, they're not. They're not. But they can be. I see strong grid lines here. If you were to do something like this, an element there, maybe it should be blue or gold. Let me try gold. Whose voice am I hearing, Molly? Can you kill them?
Yep.
You need something, I think, to tie something from the front to the back. Think of your booklet, your catalog, your brochure as a three-dimensional thing. There's a relationship between the things on the front and the back. So we see some of that already. We see this. Dang it. We see this line, and we see this line. So we're repeating elements. We see that line, we see this line. And so that's going to be a nice thing to help tie it all in. But if you were to shift this thing around a little bit, I think you can tie it even more. And even though the person might not be fully consciously aware of it, subconsciously, I think they're going to feel a little bit of that. And it's always nice when you're presenting this to your client to talk about how those things tie together. Usually when I'm able to figure something out that goes beyond the front cover and it wraps on the inside and onto the back, I usually get a nice smile or delight from the audience or the client. Okay? Now, when it comes to this stuff, I'm going to just really breeze through a little bit of what you're doing here. I would prefer if you were able to create more negative space to give this thing a little bit of room to breathe. I personally like these kinds of things here. Let me point it out. Let me zoom in. I like these things where they float, because this is so blocky and rigid that it's nice to have some organic elements like this pop out. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. So here, I think maybe we could have taken all these beans and make them smaller and make them take up less space. So we open up some space down here. And I'm going to try, I'm going to try, guys. Let's see what happens here. What happens if we were to reduce this thing down? Use my lasso tool. And take this. And copy this. And now I'm going to fill it with white. I believe this is white. Hopefully it'll work. Yeah, so far it did. Okay, before I put all that stuff back, doesn't it feel a little bit better already, Molly?
Yes, totally.
And I'm wondering if there's a different way to do this so that we can open up this space. I'm going to go even as far as deleting this thing too. Just give it a little room to breathe. Perhaps there's another way to communicate and color code these things that will save some space. So we take this guy, and all I'm going to do is make it smaller because it would take too long to do it the way I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And do it like that. And find a good spot for it. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's around here. I think also, for me, this is too far away. I'm going to delete some of this space.
Also, like, just the thought that I'm having is, do you need all those images on this page? I'm not sure if the client, if that's what they want or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like, I mean, he did such a good job at cutting all these other things out and putting them, placing them and with their names. It's like, do you really need the image of underneath the macaroons? Or is that macaroons?
The chocolates and the
yeah,
macaroons?
like the chocolates.
The chocolates?
Yeah, like, I was just curious, is that necessary?
Well, we'll find out. If you were able to somehow reduce the jelly beans down a little bit. That might give you some free space to work with this image. Somewhere else, I don't know. Just to open it up. Okay, I'm not sure that was the move to go, but it's always worth exploring. Okay, a couple other things here. Let's scan through this. This one feels a little simpler to me. There's something that's bugging me about this overlay here, Molly. Because it's on this marble slab, which I like a lot, and it feels really clean. And when you overlay it on top of this, it makes it feel smoky and a little dirty.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the solution to that is. I'll make it more opaque, maybe fill the page, something like that. This one's pretty straightforward. I'm not sure. I'm just going to say this, but maybe there's a better way to solve this problem here. When something goes across the gutter, this thing is called the gutter, you guys. This is the gutter. I didn't mean to draw it all the way down that page. This is the gutter. I like things that stop right at the gutter or go over much farther so that you can appreciate the fact that the image slid over. But I know it wrecks your grid and things like that. And I'll show you an example of where you've done that successfully. Whoops. Let me undo all this. Where you did that very successfully is here. This breaks the gutter by quite a bit. It's a good margin, it's a good offset.
Tom says, I feel like my eyes for design sharpened by watching these critiques. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. My wallet would be a little fatter if you donated, but if your eyes get sharper. Here's one thing that bugs me a little bit, Eddie, is the alignment here. Like, I want this to be relating to something, and it's not. So either push it to the right or push it to the left or whatever. I mixed up the directions there, but I think you know what I mean. This is a really nice layout, though. For a guy who's self-taught and only took 1 year of BizCom, this is impressive. This is probably your most successful page to me. And the reason why I say that is because there's so much negative space. I'm really digging it. I also like these numbers. These numbers stand out to me because we've given some space and for us to appreciate. I just love numbers. I love punctuation marks, and you could explore that. Molly, what do you think?
I agree.
Okay.
I'm reading comments.
Really nice. Really nice. Good balance and proportion. And I want to share it with the people that are tuning in. People talk about the rule of thirds, guys. If we look at this dimension and roughly this dimension, this is one unit of measure, this is another, and this is a third. So that's kind of a dynamic way to break down a page. It's roughly a third. Versus
Mark says little tweaks go a long way. They do.
Tweaks. Little tweaks. That's all it is. Again, I still have that similar thing where I want a little more, I can't even see it. I want a little more separation in this area here.
Tina just donated $5. She said, watching you cut and paste and alter these images helped me learn. What's the best design layout class you recommend on Skillshare?
Is that Tina Walchuk from Highlight Studios?
Yernick.
Okay. The best typography course on Skillshare I'm unfamiliar with. I do not know. I apologize. I'm going to go check out Balgasm's Skillshare class. He does some really nice, beautiful posters. Maybe his would be good, but I just don't know. Maybe somebody who's taken a Skillshare class can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody online maybe.
Oh.
Okay. I want to just make one little recommendation here. You see you have these diagonal elements and they're not really repeated anywhere else. This is a good opportunity. If I can just draw. I think I have my touch sensor turned on.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are saying more gold bars. Are you going to add some more gold bars?
I'm going to add gold bars, like right here. Why can't I just do it diagonally? Will it not do it? Maybe there's a gold bar. There's something that's going on to tie these elements together. The gold, you have to use, you got to use it very sparingly because you can OG that. You can over gold everything.
OG.
Yeah, you can. You can pull a Donald Trump and gold plate everything in your place, and it'll be too much. It'll be considered gaudy.
Please.
It'll be considered gaudy. So what you want to do is just use it very sparingly, use it tastefully and with intention, as Tim Gunn would say on Project Runway. Use it sparingly and thoughtfully. Okay, I think that's it for this one.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna save this file and close it. Who's up next? Is this Molly? Do you know who this is?
I think it's Darian.
Darian?
Darian.
Yeah, that's mine.
All right. Darren, don't say anything yet. Let me get you on screen here. Darren, there you are. Darren's got a good mic.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. All right, Darren, tell us about who you are, where you're from, what you're doing.
Hey there, I'm Darian Rosebrook. I run two things. My own design agency, So Magnetic, and I also run a design community called Compass of Design. I'm self-taught. I live about 15 minutes north of Seattle.
Okay.
And just super excited to be here.
You sound a little super excited. You're short of breath there. Were you just running a marathon? You all right?
Kind of. Like heart's beating.
Okay, just relax.
Don't be nervous, man. Chris
Don't be nervous.
He's a nice guy.
I'm a super nice guy. Molly, I'm like a teddy bear.
Yeah, totally.
With very sharp claws. I'm like a teddy bear with claws.
Yep.
Okay, well, welcome to the show. All right, hold on. I'm going to share the screen here. And Darren, I see you on social media all the time, I believe. It's the same person, right?
Yeah, I run the Compass of Design Twitter and my own Twitter, so you see that back and forth a lot.
I see. All right, let's get into it. The Hustle, the Grind. Tell me a little bit about this project.
So I write articles every week. Every now and then I'll take a quote from the articles and try to do some typographic thing as an experiment to try to teach myself how to do type better.
Okay.
So
this is just an internal exercise for you?
Yeah, mainly.
All right.
I'll post these to social media every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the hustle, the grind, both have their applications in your life, and at some point, those in the grind are going to have to hustle to get things done. Cool. All right, Molly, what is your guess as to how we can make this thing better?
Contrast.
How?
I feel like, again, the balance on the page, it just seems like the text from the quote, both have their applications, seems a little large.
The hustle, the grind, the headline?
No, the hustle and the grind, it's just that there needs to be more variation, I feel like, because right now it's just everything's kind of at the same. Like if I squint my eyes,
yeah,
you know.
I agree with Molly. It's like when you do your first read, second read, third read, I don't know what's the first, second, and third on this one.
And for some reason, I don't want to read both have those applications in your life.
Okay.
That's.
You know what we can do? You know what I'm going to do? What am I going to do, Aaron?
I don't know, man.
You're going to take away an element.
I'm going to take away everything.
Right.
Come on, Aaron.
Come on, Aaron.
I know what you're going to do. Watch. You're going to leave the hustle, the grind, and take away everything else.
Well, let's try. Here's what we're going to do. First thing is I need to crop this design. I guess in future submissions, guys, give me a high-res cropped file, and I'll work with that. Okay?
Yeah, my bad. I should have.
Well, no. I'm not pointing fingers. Not on air. So that we can just work with it quickly. This will help us out tremendously. And I now notice that I didn't crop it off quite carefully enough here.
Oh.
Where's my crop bar? Hello. Where's the crop? There it is. Zoom in. We'll crop that right there. Okay, I'm still a little bit off, but you guys will forgive me. So, okay, you guys ready? What we're gonna do, we're gonna do this fast, is we're gonna take this. Oh, before I do that, let me just point it out. What Aaron and Molly are talking about is this is a group, and I look at volume and mass, right? It's like that. Then I take this as a group, and you look at that as a mass, and you take this as a group. You see how they're all kind of the same amount of space, relatively speaking, and
Yes.
that's what they're talking about. So what we want to do is we want to break this thing up, and we're going to break it up right now. And I'm going to take away this. Watch what happens. It won't even take much. Take away this. Is it already better? Molly?
Yes, it is. Yes.
It is better already.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to take
Teddy
away.
just donated $5. Thank you, Teddy.
Thank you, Teddy. I'm going to delete this. Okay. The hustle, the grind. It's kind of a nice poster now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry to like delete everything on you, but now it's a nice poster. Okay. Now what I want to do is, Molly, what I'm going to say next?
Introduce one more thing.
No, not yet.
Oh.
There's too much leading.
Oh, yeah.
I always tell you, too much leading. Molly, I set you up for victory on that
I
one.
know, you did.
And then,
I wasn't.
I threw the ball to you. You're in the
Damn.
end zone. You're totally wide open. You're like, what's this? And you bat away the ball. Okay, anyways, I'm going to take this. I'm going to move it up because it's just too far away. And I'm going to do something that I normally would advise you not to do. I'm going to just try something, guys, real quick. I'm going to jam this so that the baseline and the cap height line touch each other. Because I think there's this idea about the hustle and the grind and the friction in between. And I don't want to just play it safe on this. I'm going to push it up.
See that? Yeah.
Okay? And some people might be gristling right now like, oh, what is he doing? You shouldn't do that. Well, just relax. It's just type. Just pixels on the screen, guys. It'll be all right. Everybody, you'll survive. Okay, Molly, is that too crazy?
I'm not a fan.
You're
I
not a fan.
feel like it needs to have
Okay.
a little bit more space.
Yeah. Like a lot more space?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Not a lot.
Deal
but
with
a little
it.
more.
Deal with it.
Okay. All right.
The next thing is, it's just too big. I need to scale this thing down. I'm going to scale it down right there.
You know what? When you make it smaller like that, I
Yeah.
actually don't mind.
You don't mind it as much?
Yeah.
Oops. What am I doing? I don't want to learn anything from Photoshop.
Smaller.
Relax. Okay.
Why is that?
I'll tell you why. Aaron, your mic's off, but ask your question and I'll answer it.
Why is it better smaller? Why does it look better?
Okay, it's a very good question. Why does everything look better smaller? And that's not an Asian conspiracy, okay? Let me delete this part here. Just relax. Everybody on the internet, just calm down. I'm not racist. I can say that because I'm Asian. Okay. It's because you have more negative space. If you have a small room, buy small furniture. If you buy really large furniture, the furniture looks really big and then the room feels really cramped. Just make everything smaller and it'll give you more room to work. Even this thing on the bottom, let's see here. Yep, I can grab it. I'm going to grab this type at the bottom too. I'm going to make it smaller as well. I'm tired of doing this. Let me do this the right way. Switch to color. Now when I scale it, it should be okay.
No,
Is
the
there like
background. The background layer is locked.
Oh, is that why? Thanks, Molly. Good eye. Good eye.
Is there like a gray box down there? Like it's like a white box?
No, because there's
inside
a
of it?
lighting effect on this.
Oh, okay.
And that's why.
you cut something out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going to make it smaller. Indian for my Chinese friends. And Emily in the other rooms is just dying now as I butcher everything I say. Okay. Now I want to make sure the rulers. Let me just do it with the marquee. Just grab the marquee and make sure that that's aligned, and it looks good enough for me right now while we're designing on the fly. Okay. Justified left. Lots of negative space. I don't want to get super predictable with you guys and just tell you the leading. Open it up. This time I'm gonna put it together. I want a little friction there. The reason why it's not great right now is because there's two words, the. That bugs me. The hustle, the grind. Maybe there is a clever way to do this, and I think there is. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you right now.
Just make one big the?
That's one option, but then it's going to get into some goofy type. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this, hit Command J. I'm going to hide that bottom layer. And right now I'm going to delete this word the, because I think it's redundant. I hope, guys, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. If this works, throw some money in the pocket, in the purse. All right, you guys, you ready?
This works.
If this works.
Takes out to lunch.
Me?
No.
You take me out to lunch if it works. Gosh, everybody wants stuff from me.
Just kidding, Chris.
And I will now copy this and delete it. I know I messed up the baseline of this thing, but you guys just relax. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. Okay?
They're going crazy.
The hustle. The hustle. Paste in the grind. I'm going to put the grind right on top. And maybe I'll make it like 50%. And then you guys can play around with this so that you actually have to read those two against each other.
The crusade, the cruise.
Okay? What do you think, Molly?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you guys serious?
It could work.
No,
Is this seriously?
No, because you need to mess with it. You really need to like finesse it. But I feel
yeah,
like
you need to mess with it. It's just an idea. It's a sketch, and I don't. If I had all the layers, it would work.
Yeah.
I promise you, it would work. Okay. This is where if you were to print this on vellum, all my print people, you would print the red on the front, and you would print the black on the back side flipped over. So when you see it through the vellum, you get this mirrored, not this translucent image, and it would be really cool. I think
that would be cool.
I think so Darian knows a thing or two about print, so he understands what I'm saying. Aaron's like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, legibility is an issue with that, for sure.
It is, but you know, it will work. I promise you guys, if you finesse this, it will work, and you can read both. But I just want to reduce redundancy. Now there's a little friction, and I believe what he's saying has some friction to it, because he's like, after you grind for so long, you have to get the hustle on. So this is like the two sides of the same coin. Now we're gonna bring back the rest of the type, and we're gonna end this sucker. Remember the beginning?
Someone from Twitch asked, "Is that circular pattern?" Go back to the.
Yeah, I know. Finish your question.
Is it a different color than the grind? Because it looks like it is.
It might be. It looks a little purplish black.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We're not gonna hassle.
We'll assume it's black.
Yeah, we'll just assume it's black. Now what I want to do is bring this guy back in. Copy that. I'm gonna paste it in. Molly, where should I put that?
Justify.
Yeah, that's a good guess. Justify left. Let me do a multiply on this.
I think that's too high up, maybe, so it doesn't cover the.
Okay, there we go. All right. Where should we put that, Molly? Now, you guys pay attention to this. Check this out. Something happens here. If it's here, it's okay. If it's here, is it okay? Is it here, is it okay? When you do 10,000 hours of typography and layout, you start to learn where these things should be. I'm doing a lot of things right now out of intuition because I've already done this a million times, and I've learned like where it needs to be. If this space here is even to this, then it just doesn't feel right. And if it's too far away, it doesn't feel connected to it. Now what happens here is this. Let me throw up another mark here. Let me do this and brush. When this distance and this distance is equal, I have no idea if this is an idea that's attached to this or if it should be totally separate. Okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to keep moving it around. Okay, watch this. Now I'm going to half that distance again. Now we're getting into what Eddie was doing, which is 1/3, 2/3. And it feels a little bit better. But is it done yet? It's probably not. It's probably not done yet. And I think because it needs to be, wrong layer. It needs to be a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Now, are we done yet, Molly?
No, we're not done.
What do we need to do? What else can we do with this block of type? I'm going to show you guys some tricks, and you guys are going to have a good time with this, I think. I personally don't love the italic on this. I would have preferred it be the regular weight and not italicized because it throws off our alignment. And generally speaking, when you do italic, you're adding emphasis, but when you emphasize the entire paragraph, you've lost the meaning of it. That's why you've now had to go in and do red. And do you guys know why italic typefaces were designed in the first place, Molly? A little type history here, typology. Come on, Molly, you went to the same school I did.
I know.
Come on. Why did they make italic typefaces? If you don't know, say I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't just kill it with dead air. Who here knows? Aaron, do you know?
I don't know, dude.
Internets, tell us right now.
Let's see.
Who is super duper smart? Which one of you guys are super smart? Why did they invent italic typefaces?
Titles?
Huh?
For titles?
Now, I don't want you guys to search it. I don't want you to search it because everybody can get on Google and search it right now.
No.
Who of you guys that are watching right now know why they invented italic typeface? There's a little type trivia for you.
To fit more text in an ad. That's what
something like that. Yes, they invented italic typefaces
for footnotes.
No, well, okay, let's just relax. Okay, all right. They invented italic typefaces, I believe, because you get more characters per line, and when you're printing pages and pages like in a manuscript, like a Bible, you can get more words on a page. So that's really why they were designed. And when we don't have to get more words on our page, and when we don't have to draw deeper emphasis on a particular word or phrase, let's not use it. Let's not use it. Okay, so I'm going to show you 2 tricks right now. The first thing is, let's go back to the screen, and I'm going to just make it smaller. And then Aaron's going to like, why is it always better smaller? I'm telling you, it's an Asian thing. Okay, there you go. Is it better smaller, Molly?
Yes, it is.
It is. Now, here's the trick I was going to show you, the trick that I promised. Is most of the times, I'm always telling you guys, justify left, justify left. But there is another axis that you can work with. So let me mark it up on this one, brush here, and I'm going to do this. Gosh, killing me, this computer. Okay, that's usually the way we go. But there's another one that we are ignoring. Molly, do you know which one that is? There's a second axis that we can work off of. If you don't know, just say I don't know.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I was thinking.
Well, you either know or you don't know.
Okay.
Okay. It's like an SAT class, question, You either know the word or you don't. Anyways, there's another axis right there.
Oh, horizontal axis.
There is. So how can you make it work with that? That's a trick. So I'm going to go and make
Turn
this.
it upside.
Right. You know where I'm going with this. I can lead a horse to water. Sometimes you got to drink, though.
I know.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to take this type. I'm going to rotate it. Like that. There's another axis here that you can make it work. And I'm going to move it around and try and find the place. Now, if this list were twice as long, it would work. But right now, it's kind of not there, neither here nor there, but I'm going to just leave it here. I'm going to turn off this grid line because you guys will start to get influenced by it. So right now, it feels really off balance. It feels really off balance, so it's got to be smaller. And I'm going to delete this part of it because that part's messing me up too. And unfortunately, I already got some red type in there. There's just too much going on. And I'm going to take this type. I'm going to duplicate it over here. And I'll show you what happens in 1 second. So now there's a stronger axis here, and you can see that. Let me group it down. And then no, I don't want that. And then I'm going to move it. So here it's the exact same. So what we want to do is find that point in which it's either too far out and it breaks, or it's too close and it doesn't do anything. But that's another way you guys can do this. It's still not working, you guys, but I want to open up your thinking and your exploration to include things like the baseline as a principal axis. All right?
Yeah, that's interesting, man.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
I've been working on type for 20 years, and I hope it paid off.
Shut up, Ollie.
Yeah.
Okay?
Cool, man.
Yeah, cool. Okay, a couple other things. We have that circular element. I don't know if we want to add it back in, but I want to point out one other thing here. We could do things to anchor things other than moving the entire bit of type. So I'm going to draw something there. Grab this red color. Marquee. I'm going to move this up. Oh, I see. Let me move the marquee.
Yeah, people want you to throw that circle back in. How would you throw that in there?
I'm going to throw it off the butt. No, I'm just kidding. Just relax, people, and they're throwing. I'll throw you something. All right. Now, if I add some other design element here to tie the baseline in together with this, you see how it starts to work there? Okay. Now, perhaps I might want to make it go all the way to the cap height line. So I can just stretch it up right now real quick. But then it becomes too big and heavy. Too heavy. There's a simple solution to that, Molly. What do we do?
Make it smaller.
Excellent. Like maybe a lot smaller. Let's try it like that. See?
Yeah.
Someone said looks cool, but is it functional? I think it's functional.
Well, who asked for the circle back?
I don't
So
know.
what you guys need to know is that sometimes when we're talking about doing layout and typography, Not everything on the page has to be purely functional, except for the fact that it needs to keep your interest in the design. Otherwise, we just only put type and center it all. We do have to catch somebody's interest when they're walking by on a billboard and look at something like, wow, that's really cool. But I'm going to make it functional because, you know what? Screw you is what I'm going to say. Screw you. I'm going to make it functional.
Yeah, the audience is a little mean today.
They're a little feisty.
They
a little sassy
are.
on Friday,
like, is it
man.
feisty
Maybe
Friday,
it's
maybe? I don't know.
Maybe it's the heat.
Yeah.
You guys, chill out. Chill out, Bennett. Chill out. That's a reference to Predator. Chill out, Bennett. No, I'm sorry. What movie is that? Commando. Anyways.
Predator, dude.
Predator? Was I right? Chill out, Bennett. Okay, here we go. You see this thing? People are just not keeping their mind open at all. Their minds are so closed.
I know.
Am I done? Did I say I'm done? Did I say put a fork in it? I did not. Here we go. Take this sucker, rotate it, make it smaller. You guys know where this is going. Let's go right over here. It'll be functional again. I don't want to hear from you guys.
Molly, what's funny?
Why is this not about
my fans?
Oh, you have
your
fans?
Yeah.
Molly, stop. It's not all about you. Will you just
All
relax?
she's doing is reading the comments where people are like, Molly's hot. And she's like,
God,
oh my God,
no,
that's
I'm
so...
not.
Oh my gosh,
really?
she's so cool.
Oh.
She's the bestest. All right.
I hate you guys.
Darian, you see that?
Yeah.
We saw that problem. And whoever the hater was in terms of like, it's not functional. I made it functional.
Boom.
Relax.
I love that.
Okay, we're not done.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I'm like Ron Popeil. We got more. Don't buy it for
Who's that?
$29.99.
Oh.
Don't buy it for $19.99. Act now and you get 2 typography layouts for the low price of $16.99 made in 3 payments.
I'd like to point out that this looks a lot like those...
Posters behind us?
Yeah, kind of, right? It's like the
Not
same
really,
kind of
but
style.
Well, it's just
No?
showing good design, Aaron.
Just
That's
good
all it is.
design.
Just
Right.
good design. Now, we're going to bring this back in. I'm going to bring this to the top for everybody that missed this layout. So I'm going to bring it all the way to the top here. And this is the way it was. Can we see it? Oops, I'm sorry. Move it over here. Hide all this junk. This is the way it was. And this is the way it is now. A little bit more modern. Negative space. Could almost be like a Swiss poster now. We're moving into that rarefied air. We want to be with those Swiss people. They're so good at design. The Germans and the Swiss are very good at design.
They're amazing.
Just study it. Okay, there's still some issues here. And we'll bring in that circular element. The circular element, I have no idea what that's doing. Honestly, I don't. Even though it's the wrong color. Copy that. Paste it back in. Okay, there's a problem with this thing is it relates to nothing.
I was hoping it would tie in kind of like something with grind and something
Oh, like a garbage
kinda
disposal?
like a saw or circular shape.
It is saw in circular, but I just don't. What is it? I'm trying to find something that, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
I can make it work though.
Let's see you make it work.
For an extra $39.99, I will make it work. Molly, do you have it? Do you have it, Molly?
Let me
If you don't,
check. Let me.
no.
Okay, all right. Maybe I do.
It doesn't relate to anything, and I wish I had the entire element to work with. It'd just be too much for me to recreate right now, and I'm not going to do that. But perhaps, it needs to be bigger. Why isn't Option Shift? Here we go.
Perfect.
All right.
Chris, you are a genius.
What?
A comment from.
I try to tell my wife that all the time, but it doesn't work. So
We
what if
want
I
your
made
wife
this,
on
like-
the show.
Hmm?
I want your wife on the show.
I want her on the show as well. Now everything's starting to overlap, and I just feel like this element needs to tie in with something. It needs to bring our eye in or relate to something. Right now it's not, but it could work. If this were for a hard drive manufacturer, you know those metal plates, the platters, where they write to. Obviously, you guys are not educated. The metal platter in which the magnetic heads write to a hard drive, they look like this if you were to zoom in on a microscope. They record these little lines on them, so that might work. But really, I think it's a little superfluous, and I would like it if it were to solve this problem. But I think we're out of time.
Yeah.
Darian, good seeing you. Good talking with you. Are you okay with the layout?
Yeah, this is fun. I'm going to review this later and see what I can play with.
Okay, play with it. And try to use a more classic typeface. I know you're using a funky typeface.
Proxima Nova and HK Explorer.
Which one did you use for the headline?
HK Explorer for
That's
the
a
headline.
typeface I never heard of before. HK Explorer. It's got some funny things
Yeah,
going
it
on.
connects the letter forms. Or is
Did it? No, I think he just turned it in closer. That? Well, whatever. We're good? Yeah. All right, man. Let's bring on our next victim guest.
Thank you.
Is it?
All right, you're welcome.
Omar?
Is it Omar? Okay.
I think it is.
Let me stop sharing. Omar, are you up? Is that you? Is that your design?
Me. That is, yes. Hi, Chris.
Okay, hold on. I just panicked. I hit the wrong button. Give me 1 second.
No worries.
Arun wants to ask us a question. Hey, Aaron, your buddy Arun is back in the room.
Where is he?
He's in the room, man.
Your man.
Get that camera going, dude.
Okay, Aaron. Hey, Aaron, meet me for a second. Tell us your story and go.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Omar Farook. I'm living in London, originally from Sri Lanka. I'm a creative entrepreneur running an agency. Yeah. That's me in a nutshell, I guess.
All right. Aaron, bring me back.
You're back.
Thank you, sir. You're good with this. You're on the mix board today on the 1s and 2s, man.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, somehow this thing is like just dragging on me. Give me 1 second while I do a wardrobe adjustment here.
Okay.
You guys feel free to talk and fill in the dead air for me.
Let's see.
Molly, read some comments.
I am. I'm going to read some comments.
That's Aaron's default thing. Molly,
I know.
read some comments.
Can you say anything else? All right, let's see.
Okay. Omar, originally from Sri Lanka.
Chris is the best. Damn, Chris, why you gotta be like that?
Because I gotta be like that. That's why.
This looks so much better. Love it.
All right. Share screen. Would you guys prefer I suck?
I think that might be cool for an episode.
Me just sucking the whole time?
Yeah.
All right.
I thought that's what we were doing today. I'm confused.
What do you mean? Aaron, be clear. Be clear. Okay. This is Omar's layout.
How many projects are we going to critique? We only have how many more?
Yeah, how many more are we
That's
doing?
what
I think we only have 1 or 2 more, right?
I think 2
Is this
more.
the last one?
There was a set of posters, actually. So this was originally from a poster set
I just picked
that
one,
we did
though.
for an office space. So it's just
office
immerse
space.
the
Okay.
Yes, to immerse the employees in the kind of company ethos, the products, and so forth. So like in particularly, actually, the salespeople. So the salespeople can kind of glance at this poster and kind of, use that in their sales calls as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of idea.
Okay. Let's read it together. The system owns you. We know your pain, hunger, problems. No time for family health. Dean, no money for...
It's another word for spirituality.
Oh, okay. That's a word I'm not familiar with. No money for dreams, goals, vision. Let me zoom in on this so everybody can read along with me. Consumed by your negative poverty, stress, mindset. Every day is a rat race, a survival game. Keep lying to yourself. I'm gone, but without taking action or okay. A little hard to read there. Okay. Change happens once you decide. The choice is yours. Be owned by the system or own the system. Are you self-taught or you went to university for this kind of stuff?
I actually went to university for a completely different subject, which was computer animation.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole typography aspect, graphic design came almost as a byproduct, working in animation. And so, yeah, that area was self-taught, I would say.
Okay. You learned animation and you picked up design kind of on the side. You were introduced to the visual arts though, right?
Chris,
That's
if you could, sorry to interrupt,
much,
but just don't move the thing around so much. It's giving people a headache.
Oh, do people want to tell me how to design too?
No, I mean, just like, because it's just moving so much. It's so big, I think.
All right, I won't move it so much. Is that better?
I'm just trying to be helpful.
Typefaces. I think you're using, is that Trade Gothic Bold Condensed number 20?
Close. No, it's Bebas New, actually.
Who?
Bebas New.
I never heard of it.
So it's one of my favorite typefaces.
All right, it's dead to me now. Okay, the other typeface you're using is Futur, right?
That's right.
Okay, I got 1. I got 1 out of 2. I'm scoring an F right now, 50%. So are those just the 2 typefaces? Now I'm so self-conscious of moving this page, Aaron. I don't know what to do. I'm like constipated now. Can we move it or not?
Aaron, move it.
Move it.
Do what you want.
Okay. Now, this is one of those layouts where you are jamming the type in edge to edge. And it's tricky to do that, man. It really is. Shoot. Right? You got this, and you're filling it in. And this is the right way to fill in type from edge to edge as opposed to adjusting the letter spacing. So what you do typically, and I'm going to do it with you right now. Let me duplicate this layer. And there's some weird splotchy texture in the background that I'm not going to be able to fix right now. The system owns you. Remember that, Molly.
Yes.
The system owns you.
I remembered.
Okay. And I will go with the default color. And I'm going to type it in with the system owns you. You can't see that really because it's super tiny. I'm going to scale that up. I probably misspelled it somewhere in here. Look at that. I spelled it correctly. Now, I'm going to take this. I'm going to switch it with Trade Gothic, the proper typeface. Bold condense number 20. What are you guys doing over there? Are you guys playing footsies? What I see a lot of action in my peripheral vision there, guys. All right. Now, if we were doing a center layout, obviously you would just put it right there and it'd be okay. I didn't mean to do that. And then now I'm going to make the type bigger to fill the space. So that's Command Shift greater than on the keyboard on a Mac. And if you're using a PC, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're using a PC. Scale that in a little bit so it fits right there.
Yeah, Chris, the reason why I picked this poster is because I feel like these are hard to
They're hard to do.
They're hard to do and
are.
achieve and make them look good. So I wanted to see what your input was on them.
Yeah, you usually have the what do you call it? The ruler lines.
Yeah. You know what I would do first, guys, is I would try and typeset the whole thing, and then I would try and fill in the space in the way that Omar is doing here. But there's just some funny things going on here, and I'll tell you what the funny things are at first. These icons are great. The knife, the rat. I don't know what that is. Is that a rhino? What the heck is that?
Okay, so let me explain it. I kind of had to find something to fill that gap, and I couldn't really think of anything. So I needed someone with a long nose to depict lying.
Oh, Pinocchio?
Yeah, that kind of Pinocchio.
Yeah. Okay. This to me, the way it's done is something like a survival poster, like a guide on how to survive the nuclear holocaust kind of thing. And I think you want to kind of keep the visual language consistent. There's a little bit of a military thing. It feels like it's government issued, piece of propaganda, survival guide, in the event of an earthquake or fire, do these kinds of things. I think where you could do better is to work with your shapes and your lines.
Sure.
This one is so complicated, Molly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's like 1,000 elements on here for me to even.
I know. Well, I didn't know that you were going to go so in depth.
Is my middle name Depth? Chris Depth Doe?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so of course I'm going to go into it like that. What else can I do? Come on.
No.
God.
You're right. Duh.
All right. Duh. All right. So the dots don't work for me. They feel a little too fussy. I like big, bold graphics for something like this. I think you need to work on some shapes. I would recommend that you go and look at the work of Charles S. Anderson. And as I say that, I'm sure Molly's just Johnny on the spot now.
Yeah, I am.
And we're even on the wrong screen, Aaron.
You're on the wrong.
Look up Charles Anderson while I work on this a little bit. And the fact that you broke pain, hunger, and problems, and you meant for the person to read each one of those lines becomes very problematic. And I think in this instance here, I think all caps would work better for you. This feels like something.
Name? Charles what?
Charles S. Anderson. You should know Charles S. Anderson, Molly. Look at some of his posters where he's got a lot of type and little graphic elements and arrows and things like that. Some things he's done for the French Paper Company, perhaps. Just find some cool posters, maybe for Fossil watches, etc. And you can see how Charles solves this kind of problem. And because it's all centered and blocked out like this, I would prefer if you had some asymmetrical elements. And I'm going to show you right now. This one's harder for me to crit online like this because I don't have all the elements. And it's a beastly file to even begin with. How long did it take you to design this?
Sorry, can we show some of the Charles Anderson thing you wanted?
Can't remember because I had to actually come up with the script first. So it was all this whole project together.
Yeah.
So like the design was about a couple of hours, I'd say. It took me a day.
Took you a day? Okay.
Yeah. So a day in work, basically.
Yeah. I'm going to just try to do something here. And I want to give it that like mechanic, garage, military vibe. Hopefully I do this right. This is kind of a rough thing to be designing in Photoshop, but let's pretend like that was okay. I don't like it right now because it's so centered. So I'm going to move it over.
Sure.
Move it right around here somewhere. But I'm looking for some asymmetry here. That's what I'm trying to do. I want the shapes. Why is this not working for me? I want the shapes to maybe break up the centered nature of this layout. So now I'm going to take problems and I'm going to delete it. I'm going to try something here.
Someone said,
what?
Why is everything on this poster so negative? If I was in an office, it would worry me.
It's a propaganda poster. The system owns you, man. Pain, hunger, all that's miserable in your life.
But I think having that in the office kind of bums you out if you're working there.
Well, it's meant to do
this
something.
Actually comes. This comes from a series, so there's actually a positive end to the series.
Oh, he says it ends positively, guys.
Wait, he can.
Yeah, yeah. I just picked out one because I figured 3 would be too much to.
Okay, what was this last one? What did it say? Pain, hunger, what? Omar.
I can't actually remember.
Oh my God! Is it in your poster?
Was it problems? I've got to hear. Yeah, it was problems. Yeah.
Problems? Okay.
Yeah, problems.
Yeah, we got problems. If you don't remember your own poster. Okay. I'm gonna try something here, just to break it up a little bit more. I have a problem. I can't get that type to fit in there. Well, I'm gonna try this one last thing, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Let's do it. I arbitrarily picked problems. We should put more thought and intention into the design that we do. And I just wanted to show you potentially how you could alter this layout so that even though it filled the edges from left to right, that it didn't need to feel so centered in its design. I think you know where I'm going with this now, right? Okay. Switch the colors here. Let me make sure this is all black or dark blue. Oops. Undo that. Pick this color option. Now I can do it. And I'm going to delete this. Hit shift and delete that. That selection and hit. Well, I like the dash lines. I messed up here, but I like the dash lines. So I'm just trying to break up your layout a little bit more. And I need to clean this part up. And your shape game just needs to be stronger, okay?
Sure.
Okay, Molly, we're ready with Charles Anderson. Let's look at some of his work.
Yeah.
And
cut to my screen.
Omar can't see it, but the rest of the audience can see it. And Omar, you can play along at home. Zoom in on that, Molly, if you can. Can you? Yeah, nice. Okay, Charles is taking bits of found typography and collaging it together. It's beautiful. You can see there's circular elements, line art, arrows in there.
I can see it, actually.
Oh, you can see it.
Yeah, I've got YouTube on the side.
Okay,
well,
good.
So.
Good for you, man. You're on point. Okay, anything else, Molly? A couple other things from Charles Anderson? Look him up, Charles S. Anderson. I hope he's going to come on the show at some point. I'm in communication with him.
Really? I feel like even the way he does this.
That's really cool with the halftone dots.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So you can see like things are still kind of blocked and filling in the entire page, but there's some visual relief because he's breaking up so it's not all type or something.
This too.
That's really nice.
It's really nice.
It's a lot more dynamic, right?
Yeah. See, there's another one right there. So he's filling it all in. And I have books and books with Charles' work here at the office, and I'm a big fan of his. And when I was going to design school as a freshman, I just really looked up to all the work he's done. So it's part of my visual vocabulary. You see, it can be layered. It can have different textures and to break things up. And I feel like in some of these instances, like your clock and your bag of money, it feels like clip art to me.
Yeah.
I want this to feel like that movie by Neil, what's his name? Neil Blonsky? The director with the aliens in South Africa, Aaron? You the film guy?
Aliens in South Africa.
Yeah. They call them like cockroaches and they're landing there.
Oh.
District 9.
Or something. Yeah.
District 9 or something like that. I want to feel like it's a poster from that neighborhood. If you're going to go edge, you got to go all the way. Okay? All right.
Got it.
I apologize that this wasn't as clear and directive or as tactical or just here's step by step for you, I would say that using Futura and the other typeface, Bauhaus, Neuhaus, whatever font you were using, is probably a good combination. You have a really condensed typeface and something that's more geometric. That works. I would just suggest that you use all caps and continue to work on the layout and how this thing reads. Keep lying to yourself. I am waiting for that promotion of my job, that kind of stuff. That doesn't feel quite right. It feels like very foreign in here. Do you get that sense?
Okay.
The upper lowercase, it just doesn't feel, it feels a little dainty, a little precious, where this is nasty. It's supposed to be nasty.
Yeah.
We'll go for it. Okay? All right.
Got it.
We're going to move on.
Yeah. Someone
Thanks,
said...
Chris. Appreciate
You're welcome, man.
your time.
Thank you.
Someone said, Chris, do you think that this is the essential part of typography and layout, or are you just changing the design based on your own perspective?
What is essential?
This is. What you're doing? Do you, like to the poster?
Like when you put your finger down, like what is this?
Like what you're doing
Like-
to the poster?
I don't know. What I'm trying to do, this is a lot of copy to be laying out in this aggressive fashion, so I'm just trying to make this a little bit easier to read, make it more visually interesting to draw you in. I think it's overwhelming to look at it that way, so we need to break this thing up. Okay. We good?
Yeah.
All right. Whew. I'm going to save this file. Save it. And I'll close this. Ooh. Whose does this work?
Which one?
The yoga. I mean, if Aaron were...
Oh, yeah. So that's John, and
John?
he
he online?
unfortunately couldn't make it.
Okay,
Aw,
great.
Man, that's cool.
I can crit this really fast because John's not here. Let's look at this. Hide all that junk. I'm going to make the background dark again so you guys can see it there. It's a yoga poster. That's an impressive pose, first of all.
Yeah. It is.
Wow. Okay. And I love the integration of the word yoga. And even though the woman who's practicing this is obscuring some of the letters, you can still read it. Still fully legible. And I like to play how she's coming through forms. So sometimes she's in front and sometimes she's behind. I like that. Very dimensional, very playful. And it's also playing off one strong axis, which is this one right here.
Horizontal. I mean vertical.
No, it's neither horizontal nor vertical.
I meant diagonal.
You'll eventually get it. This axis right here. Really like it. Very nice. Well, when you don't have a lot of elements to work with, you have the luxury of creating space to breathe and integrating photography or illustration. Omar did it to himself by just using every single word and treating the whole thing. It's tough to do that. It really is. So it's good that you try to do that from time to time, but you know that your work's cut out for you. So all we really have to do is to talk about this thing. Yoga is the foundation of youth. You're only as young as your spine is flexible.
Smaller.
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 Probably smaller. So let's do that real quick. Let me see if I can fix this problem. In order for me to do that, I'm going to copy this. Okay, well, I got to be on the right layer to do that. Copy it. I'm going to use my brush. Pick this color.
It's locked, the background layer.
Delete it. Okay. There you go. Is it better already?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me paste in the type and move the type over here again. So I'm going to just scale that down like so.
Ah, so much better.
Molly's already liking it better. So it needs a float in here, I think. Now, I think you need something else now, Molly.
Okay.
Yeah, people were saying some diagonal little motif elements or
And
something.
line.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. The people are starting to know my game, which is good. If we become predictable, that's a good thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to delete a lot of this. Delete it. So all we're left is with this. And I'm going to take that sucker. I'm going to move it down right here. And I'll make it a little bit smaller. Like
More.
it's like a URL or something. Whoa. Kind of put it right there. And I think I'm going to retire on that.
More elements.
That's all. What I want to do, let me explain to the studio audience really quickly here. I want to tie this with something down here. That's all I need. And that way it bookmarks or kind of bookends this whole thing. Not bookmark, bookends it, and it anchors all the design together. And that's all we need. I don't think we need a whole bunch of lines or elements here. I think this whole thing about yoga, balance, a lot of negative space, I don't want to junk up the layout. Are we okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
We have one last
One last one.
And she's
Hang
in
in
the
there,
room.
everybody. Let me save this. Boom. And
Ari.
then we're going to go to lunch. Close this. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. If you want more of this, we're going to be doing this on Tuesday of next week.
Oh, I thought you were saying the next review.
Going to do this. Can I just finish my sentence, please? We're going to do more of this on Tuesday of next week, where I'll have a lecture and we'll be designing type together. This will be open to anybody that wants to join the Zoom thing and ask us questions. As long as you're in a quiet space and you have a good microphone, we're good with that. Whose work is this?
People are saying, yes, I want more of this. This is insanely helpful.
Okay, let's see who this is. Grumpy Wizard. Who is it? Erica?
No, Ari.
Ari. Okay, let me spotlight video you. Ari, welcome to the show. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Hi everyone, my name is Ari. I'm the creative director and chief designer of my own company, Typography. I work a lot on branding projects, web and mobile projects. I'm also the founder of Creative Women's Co. in Chicago here. So basically helping out other creative women entrepreneurs with their journey.
Ooh, that was a lot. You practiced that line, didn't you? She was
well,
ready to
I go to a lot of networking events, yeah.
I like that. She goes, do you see how she did that, Molly?
That was beautiful.
Were you taking notes?
Yeah.
Every time the camera cuts, she's like, oh, my name's Molly. What do I do? Okay. She was like, and she was ready to go.
That was great, Ari.
That was like machine gun style, you guys. That was a spray of an Uzi right there.
Listen,
Ari,
you can't say that every time.
Huh?
Nothing.
She's a solopreneur.
Timing,
Are you in Chicago now?
Yeah.
Okay. But you're originally from Indonesia?
Yeah, Bali, Indonesia.
Okay. I need to go to Indonesia.
You should.
Okay. And you help entrepreneurs?
Creative women entrepreneurs, to be exact.
Creative entrepreneurs?
Creative women entrepreneurs, yeah.
What was
woman entrepreneurs.
Oh, creative women
entrepreneurs.
God, the pie just gets smaller and smaller. Entrepreneurs? No, you have to be creative.
She's focusing.
But what about me? No, you're a boy. We're only work with women.
Well, you can come. There's no discrimination.
Well, when you say creative women entrepreneurs, I believe you've excluded us, but that's okay. All right, let's take a look at your work. Share the screen. Last one, guys. Hang in there. We're almost done. Here we go. Now, this is a comp, right? So there's a poster hung on some kind of wire, and then there's a background. So the background's not part of the design. So first thing I got to do is I got to crop it. I'm going to zoom in here. Internet, look away while I work because you guys are going to get sick. Look away right now.
Sick and tired.
Good. Look away. Much better. Okay, here we are. The Grumpy Wizards. So tell me about this project. What is this?
It's actually a poster series for Design Basic posters. So the original idea is that I created 3 different posters: Typography Basic, Color Basic, and then Illustration Basics. This is the Typography one. Basically, it's going to give you a quick overview about what typography really is, what type of languages that you can normally hear when you actually play around with typography or learn about typography. So you'll see the anatomy, the typeface, and the type family, along with the tracking, kerning, and all that fun stuff, including different typography that is being listed on each section. So there are serifs and serif, display, slab serif, and all that.
Okay. It's nice. Now, the typeface here, typography, that's Univer, is that right?
Yes.
And what about the mouse type over here? What is that? I can't even see it. Is that Univer as well? It's not.
Yeah, it is actually.
It is? Okay.
It is Univer.
All right.
So that's light.
So when we do this again, you guys give me a really high-res file, a high-res JPEG, so we can actually zoom in and everything's nice and crisp so that we can read everything. I think this is a really nice poster. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Right? But you can still tell there's still some hierarchy. There's still some space to breathe. Imagine if she took all this body copy at the bottom and treated it just like at the top. And this is where I think these bits here, let me use a pen here. 1 second. That these bits on top are almost like an illustration. And if you treat them like that, you won't get overwhelmed. So these are all It's a series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 illustrations, and the information text is here. Okay, I think I know what we need to do with this poster. Molly, what are we going to do? It's not the patent answer, so don't go with the patent answer. Miss Molly?
I
you don't know yet? It's okay to say I don't know.
I said I don't know.
I just heard that.
I don't know.
I don't know. Aaron, what are we going to do with this?
I don't know.
Okay. See how that works? See how it works? You just say I don't know. I think what we need to do is invert this layout. So we're going to get crazy. We're going to get super crazy here. So what I'm going to do is...
Let's get crazy.
It's not going to look like anything for a second. I'm going to delete this.
Oh, man, I knew it.
And I'm going to make
Oh, you
this
knew
up
it.
here.
I knew that was going to happen.
Then you should have said it.
Yeah, I looked upside down. I was like, is the title at the bottom?
Why didn't
So,
you say it?
Then I'm going to take this, duplicate this again. I'm going to move this down. And then I can get rid of this at the bottom. I think it's going to look better in a second. I don't want to do that. I want to fill it with white. Okay. Hide all that stuff.
Boom. It's done.
Okay, you need to see typography up front. This is really important. This tells me what I'm looking at. And I'm going to try something here, guys. Cross your fingers. Cross your fingers. First, I need to fix this part. I got to fix this little doodad up here. I'm going to fix that. What do you guys... Can you guys just be serious for half a second?
We are.
My team? I'm going to lock this. Lock it. I'm going to just fill this in with white. Okay, here we go. Drum roll, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot to look at. Lot to look at. I'm going to do this.
Oh, yeah,
See what happens
interesting.
here. Sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work.
I'm not feeling it.
Molly doesn't feel anything until I make her feel it. So we're going to solve this problem. Okay? I'm just going to try and create some contrast because I want to be able to see that, and there's lots of type on this page. I also think this element at the bottom here is really good. Just let's give it some space. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Come on, shift. Can I do more? Yeah. Okay. Because... What was there? Well, whatever. I don't know. I'm destroying your layout. We want to create a little separation between the top and the bottom. Now, Molly doesn't like the black bar, and sometimes I don't like it because it makes your page smaller. Let's look at it. Aaron, do you like it better?
I think so.
Tell me why.
I like it.
Why?
Because I feel like before, now it's like a little, you broke it up a little bit.
Broke it up? Created a little hierarchy for you?
Yeah.
Molly, tell us why you don't like it.
I just think the black bar is too aggressive. I don't know if that's the right word, but I thought it was working when it was on white anyways.
Okay.
Even if you make the typography a little bit bigger,
all right,
so you don't have to have the black.
Whenever we adjust something, we're going to end our critique today on this one lesson, right? We're going to look at, whenever you adjust something, it affects everything else on the page. And if I make this too black, Molly says it's not going to work. So one thing is to abandon it or to try to make it work. And I'm going to try to make it work, and we shall see. I think this guy right here needs to be darker. So I'm going to try and make it darker right now. You know what? That's not going to work. I'm going to have to invert that. Shoot. I wish I could just make that black with white type, because it needs to be a little heavier at the bottom, in my opinion, to make it work with what's happening at the top. Okay, you see that now? Now Molly may start to feel a little bit better, because before it was nice and light. Everything was airy, and usually I like that too. But we're trying to show our studio audience, or our audience tuning in at home and on our Zoom call, there's more ways to solve a problem than just one way. I don't always want it to be negative space, make everything smaller, and we're done. There's lots of ways to solve this problem. So I'm going to duplicate this guy. I'm going to hide it. I'm going to start to delete some parts of it. What if it were like this, Molly? Would it be better?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when...
Well, I wish you would have said it. That's all right.
Yeah,
He will say I should be nicer. I should be less of a jerk to everybody here.
No,
but
you're
you know what?
fine.
I'm going to be who I'm going to be.
This is looking better to me, dude. You're very skilled.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
do.
Thank you. Okay, so now we have the boldness, the black thing that's happening at the top. And I'm going to make sure that it's nice and white in there, because it wasn't supposed to be gray. And then we have the... Let me diagram this, guys. My apologies. Let me switch color here. So what we have right now is this. Like this says, look at me, check me out. I'm up here. It's all about typography, right? Yeah. And I bet you if we include a little color, it would be even better. Okay? Typography, basic type design. Here are the lessons to learn. Check it out in a nutshell. Does this really interest you? Yes, it does. Those are cool faces. That's an Egyptian slab serif typeface. And then I got all this detail down here. This, and I got a handy type guide thing for you at the bottom. So it feels like the hierarchy is correct now. Tell me what I'm looking at. Give me some illustrations or examples to get me really excited about it. Then give me all the minutia detail. Molly, go ahead.
I was just thinking that on the lower bar, I mean on the 33 points, what's going on there, I think it should be black or darker.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh,
darker,
did you?
But I think you were busy checking your fans' comments and you weren't paying attention. I said I wanted to make that inverted like black with white lettering.
I missed that. Because if it is, then I feel like I would like the...
God, you're killing me. Now I'm going to have to do it. Just going to have to do it now.
Just do it. Like Nike. Come on.
So I just like this and I will try because there's a bunch of complex shapes here. Okay, so that you can see it. And even two-tone like that actually might work. Now, I want to do one last thing. One last thing before we go.
Yes.
You said this was a series of posters, one to teach about typography, the other one to do something else.
Yeah, color and illustration.
So there's 3 posters?
Mm-hmm.
Which poster is this? 1 of, 2 of, 3 of, what?
It's 1 out of the 3.
Okay, so I told you before I like numbers. I'm going to show you why I like numbers. And you're using Univer, so I want to make sure I match your typeface. I want to make it white so I can see it. I'll make it red right now. Make it a little smaller to match that point size. Switch over to Univer. You're probably using bold condense, right?
Let me double check.
Pretty sure it is. Move this up. Okay, that's about the right point size. Maybe.
Condensed bold, yeah.
Yeah, bold condensed, yep. Okay, maybe we could do this. And I'll make this. Is there condensed light? Yes, there is light condensed. It could be that the bold for what I'm going to do in a second is too bold. It might work better. And then I'm gonna brush, pick this color. I'm gonna use a line tool. Line, where are you? Is it here? Where's the line tool, Molly?
I can't see your... It's cut off.
You mean it's not here? It's at the bottom? But where's the line tool in general? Do you know?
No, I don't. Okay, I would use the pen tool.
Is it here? Gosh. Alright, I'm super lame, guys. I'm spacing out where my tools are.
It's in shapes. Use under rectangle. That's what someone's saying.
Oh, here? Yeah, thank you. Who said that?
Let's see.
You get a bonus point.
Matt.
Matt? Who's Matt?
A couple people said it. I don't know.
Maybe something like that. Well, that didn't look right. Line. I don't want to do shape. I want to do pixels. Oh, okay. I can't draw on that layer. I'll draw on this layer. Okay. So this doesn't quite feel right. The 3's too light or this thing is too heavy. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to delete it. I duplicated the wrong one. I'm going to duplicate this. Delete that. Select this. Switch it over to 1. 1 of 3. Maybe move it over here. And I need to move this line around a little bit. There's some space up here for us to play. And I think there's an opportunity. Molly, what would you change here? I'm going to group that.
With your letters? I mean, with your numbers?
Yeah. I just like numbers. I want to see if I can integrate a number.
I like numbers too, but I don't think I would do the slash, the fraction. I would just do 1, 2, 3 on each poster, personally.
1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I think.
What would you do? I mean, I'm trying to create something like an illustration, so I want it to have a more organic shape like this. It's just not working right now, and I believe I can make it work, just maybe not this second. There's a couple other things you guys can do. You can draw a line here, for example, and try to group these two things together. I could draw a box like this, and perhaps just fill it in with black so that these things can relate together. Maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe. And if you don't like that, you can take this and you can delete that. Lots of ways to solve this problem. Okay, I think we're gonna end it.
Yeah.
I don't think I made the design better, guys, so I'm gonna undo all that.
Well, at least there's some good hierarchy now, which I feel like I should have thought having the typography title to be on the top instead of the bottom.
Yeah.
So that actually helped your eyes lead to the intro, and then here's the details and all that kind of stuff. So at least there's that. About the one or the numbers that you mentioned to highlight which number of the series the poster is, I'm not that big of a fan of that approach, but then again, the reason why there are 3 posters, people can just buy one-off poster or the whole 3. So it would be weird if they only buy like 1 poster and then they don't buy the other 2. That's one of the reasons.
Well, typically when you want somebody to buy something, the whole series, you want to let them know there's more, so it's more of a collectible, typically.
True.
I think there's still another way for me to make it work, and I'm just going to show you this last trick, guys. I'm going to show you one more trick, and this is really about just helping you guys to open up like what's possible in the world of type. Okay, I'm not saying that this is better or anything, but there's still yet a way to make that number work. I'm obsessed. I'm going to make it work. Let me get that line right. Okay, if I bring this sucker back, let's say I need a different number. Let's try Molly's thing. Let's see what Molly's got to offer us today. Get that out of there, come on. Boom, there we go. Hide this. So I'm gonna take that number. Molly says just make one number. I'm gonna make a white. I'm gonna switch back to bold condense. There it is. I'm gonna make it a lot bigger. Or maybe not a lot bigger, sorry. I'm gonna match this point size again. Somewhere around there, it's close enough. And maybe I can do something like this. Did I accidentally move it? I wanna make sure it's lined up. That's one way to do it.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
Now 1 is hard to see, but if this were poster number 2, it'd be pretty cool.
Yes. Reminds me of type 2.
Yeah, that's cool. The 2, it works with the 2.
The 2's great.
Yeah.
And let me show you one other thing. If we just made it bigger, it could work. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna move it into this baseline here, and I'm gonna play around with it. Maybe match the cap height. That's a little goofy looking. So that was not a good solution. So we'll end it on this. We'll pretend like we only had to do typography poster 2 and 3 because the 1 is difficult to deal with. But you can also write out the word 1 or 2, for example, like this. And this is the discretion of the designer to be able to play around with these things. Like where if you want a number, then you use a number. If you wanted to write it into a word because it's easier to crop or something like that, you can do anything. You can make something more simple, or you can simplify something, or you can make it more complicated because your layout needs more detail. Okay, that's it for me. Ari, thank you very much. You guys, we're going to end the show. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. I'm going to stop sharing this thing. Let me save this. Boom, and close this file. I think we're all done. Let's hit OK. Close this. Yep, we finished everything.
Skillshare.
Stop this. Oh, yeah. There was a question about Skillshare. You guys, let's bring up that graphic. I just want to say something about that. Can we go full screen on that? Like for real, full screen?
Yeah.
The green bar, the green button. If you hit the green button, it'll work.
Where's the green button?
To your left. Yeah. If you hit that, it'll go full screen. And I just want to say, guys, we had the wrong link in Skillshare, and I was wondering what the heck is happening. Skillshare has a ton of video courses for lettering, for logo design, and things like that. I'm not sure about the typography part of it, but if you guys want, if you guys use our affiliate code, which Molly's going to share with you, you get 2 months for free. We do make a little bit of money. So if you guys do sign up, use our link. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. Okay. Thanks very much, you guys. Let's go back to my camera. I'm going to end the show. I'm going to wish everybody have a great weekend, Labor Day weekend. It's Labor Day weekend, right, Molly?
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend. No work Monday.
Okay, and I want to thank
excited.
everybody that's tuned in from the Zoom call. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Really appreciate you guys. I want to say goodbye to everybody now. Aaron? He was good yesterday. He was on the money yesterday.
I know.
All right. I want to remind everybody, you are not defined by your past. The future is what you make it. God bless. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend.